and what that looks like across sites. And in these first 25, there will be some who've been at it for several years. There'll be some who are just starting. And so how we learn from each of them, what's common, what's core, and then what's context related will be part of the evaluation. But that will come in the early fall. Relationship to 100K and 10, is there a relationship?
So, you know, we have been communicating with lots of organizations and entities around the country who have similar interests, whether it's US 2020, 100K and 10, the Hive network and the like. The entire concept is, from our perspective, how we can optimize a lot of their work. Remember what we said previously, and that is that this is about creating an architecture and a framework for cross-collaborative opportunities. The project is agnostic to content. And I'll repeat that again. We are agnostic to content. We are trying to create an architecture and a system and a platform where all of these other content-rich projects can optimize their work, scale their work better, and leverage the resources in a community as best they can. So we are in deep conversation all the time with all of these various organizations and entities, because our ultimate goal is to help them succeed by the platform and the architecture we're building.
Great. There's a number of additional specific questions about the RFQ. I'll take them one at a time. Is the applicant the convener, the lead organization in that community?
You know, it could be however you all choose to do it. Again, this is about the local community. In some cases, the entity that may be the convener may not be the one that clicks submit. That's a decision that each local community has to make.
In the budget template, the top section indicates revenue. Is that where the match goes? The bottom section, total expenses. Is this the section for the 100K grant request? 10,000 K grant request?
Yeah, so Michelle Freeman, who's managing that piece for us, stepped out of the room. My apologies. I believe I've not seen the budget template for a couple of days, so I don't want to misstate anything. We can get back to that person with the right information. But I believe it should be pretty self-explanatory. If I recall correctly, there is a section that actually delineates in-kind and what the in-kind looks like.
Okay.
So it should be at the top if I'm correct. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, the match will go on top with the revenue.
Okay. And then the expenses.
And there's a piece that actually has delineated the in-kind piece. You know, one of the questions that was asked on the last call, and I'll repeat again here to answer it, is around indirect costs. We've allowed for a 10% indirect, but really, again, this is about community support for a project. If it's 10%, it's an intermediary that's only taking 10%. And they're providing in-kind services, convening services, they're providing back office support, they're going to host meetings for their 10%, then we can understand the contribution of what that is. So when it comes time to the indirect fee, please be very conscious of how that money is being used.
Great. In terms of the letters of support, should they be from just the key partners, or who should they consider letters of support from?
So it really should be from a diverse group of entities and people. Again, remember who we're looking at. Look at the attributes that are on the screen. Hopefully the PowerPoint's up and working. You have representatives from all the key stakeholders within the community itself. Utilize whomever you believe can best espouse and advocate for your positioning and your capacity to be able to move forward within the ecosystem work. We do want to see different sectors, different stakeholders within those letters of support, not all from, for example, public aid.
Or members that you've identified that you'd like to complete the self-assessment. So you can, obviously personalize the email, but just you want to use that link and you want to get that out.
Great.
If you follow the directions, we have tried, although there are obviously levels to the work, we have tried to make it fairly smooth as far as the process. So if you follow the directions, you'll be able to see that.
So a good question that was asked last time, and as several asked again this time, is what if you apply and you're not accepted in the first 25, but you're very interested in continuing to build your ecosystem? What support or help is available?
And we encourage everyone to apply because everyone wins. So Jan, why don't you, as the person running the TA piece, talk about some of that, please?
Sure, and thanks, Ron, and Gerald. As was mentioned numerous times, this is not a competitive grant situation. We want to encourage all communities to be able to form the ecosystems and in the space and the time that's best apt for their constituencies, for their community as such. So those who are not in that first cohort will have the opportunity to be on webinars and to work with the TA advisors, to work with the other communities that are in the first cohort, to help define and understand to a greater degree what they have to do themselves to keep the momentum going, to continue to be learners, and to continue to design through in their own vision for what an ecosystem can be, so that they are then selected for cohort 2 or cohort 3, whatever is in the apt timing to make this work. It was decided that we thought that it was important that everybody had an opportunity, and that this wasn't an opportunity. The RFQ is not an opportunity for you to design and create. It's an opportunity for you to be transparent and for you to help us to understand where you are, where the assets are, and what your vision is for yourself.
Great. I think that's hit many of them. We'll just see if there are any. Angie or Michelle, did I miss any major ones? It feels like we've gotten to most of them.
Yeah, does anyone have any final questions?
Yeah, if you do, please write them to us. And if I missed yours and you didn't get your question answered, please restate it again.
The other thing, Ron, if I may, a couple of things. We are posting up all the time the questions that people ask on the website, and we're providing answers that are updated on a daily basis. So you can go to the website. You can go to the website also and see who is interested in applying from your communities. That's being updated every 24 to 48 hours as well. And then if you email info@stemecosystems.org, we will respond back to you with responses to any inquiries. And if you have questions and you need help around conversations with multiple stakeholders within your community as you apply, again, our responsibility in the way we've approached it is we want to help you apply. We would like as many to apply. The greater the diversity, the greater the geographic reach, the greater the opportunity to really provide for an informed national community of practice. So we are here to help you move forward in a successful fashion in this process.
Just a couple of final clarifications, Gerald, which I know we've been discussing internally. The deadline for submitting the RFQ, is that a hard and fast deadline? Will it be extensions?
Right, it is a hard and fast deadline. It's 5 p.m. on the 30th Pacific time, and that is a hard and fast deadline, and it has to be electronic in through the website. We will then have about a month amongst a group of many skilled experts in the field who will be going through the review processes that we have outlined several times, and our goal is to advise the selection of the first cohort and begin to outline the work that will be done for the ensuing year by the end of August. Part of what we're trying to do too, because we have to coordinate plane flights and hotel and a number of things for the convening at the White House on November 11 and 12, we need the lead time to be able to do that and make all of that happen. So the deadline for submittal is set. That is not negotiable. And we hope to get responses back to everyone and the selection by the last week of August.
Great. I think that covers all the major questions, Gerald and Jan. I think the really so there's no question that it's not worth asking, so please do. Gerald, someone just said the RFQ says the 31st, and you just said the 30th of July.
Take a look at the RFQ.
Go with the RFQ.
We're struggling a little bit, as you can tell, with the technical glitches, so it's kind of interfering with my thought process. My apologies.
Yeah, a few folks.
Yeah, GoToMeeting
Right.
platform's having its issues today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think you just gave a few folks a heart attack, so.
My apologies.
Very good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll, as Gerald said, multiple forums for getting feedback or answering your questions from here on out. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all for being on the call. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.